Now, if you look at NVIDIA, since the introduction of ChatGPT and OpenAI at the end of 2022, you've seen their revenues go up about 4.5 times, not the 15.5 that Cisco saw. And you've seen their stock go up 600%, not the 4,000% that Cisco saw. And so, but Cisco also went through some horrific drawdowns within that rise of 4,000%, where it went down 26% intra-year in 1995, late 95, went down 38% in early 97. It went down 37% from peak to trough in late 1998. The stock was up each of those years, but I think we can all agree those were some horrific drawdowns because you were going through some digestion of all that internet spending. And I think that's what we're in for with NVIDIA right now, which is you're going to get some digestion going on from all of this spend, because when you look at the companies that reported, to large part, their estimates went down in the future, and at a certain point, you have to justify the amount you're spending. And so with NVIDIA, if you think about it from another, several years out, I think revenues will double from here. I think the stock will double from here, but I'm not sure I don't believe the stock's actually seen its lows for the year yet.
Dan, NVIDIA reports on August the 28th, in about 2.5 weeks from now. Given the concentration, given the leadership within NVIDIA, how much of a market event is this going to be, not only at a sector level for the Magnificent Seven, but at the market as a whole? And since CapEx is such an important factor here, if they say everything is fine and they maintain the spend or even raise it, to what degree is that going to restore confidence?
Well, I think you framed it perfectly. It's going to be the linchpin around which this market either advances or goes down pretty hard from here. Because if you go back to the internet build-out, Cisco might have been the stock that became the most valuable company in the world at one point. But you also had Lucent, Nortel, Alcatel. You had other companies. There really is NVIDIA, and there's pretty much the list falls off dramatically from there. And so it's the one around which this is all built. The thing that troubles me the most, well, there are several things that trouble me. Number one, because it was the only company that had AI-related chips, and you couldn't get them early on, because don't forget, and it's easy for people to forget this, but in early 2022, before we heard of this thing called ChatGPT, NVIDIA pre-announced negatively on the same customers that are now driving this growth. And their revenues were down 6% year over year. Now they're up over 400% year over year. And so now why did they pre-announce in early 2022? It's because their customers, the same ones that are driving their revenue growth now, had to digest all the spending they did the year before. Sound familiar? And so now you're at this point where these customers all were double and triple ordering because they couldn't get the chips they wanted, and they were competing with each other. The chips are now becoming available. Their latest and greatest chip, called Blackwell, is being pushed out, and supply is starting to catch up with demand. So you put that kind of together, and you have the ability for them, I firmly believe they'll beat the quarter in terms of revenues and EPS. But much like you saw with, whether it's Microsoft or Amazon or Google or Tesla, I do wonder what's going. I personally think the guidance could be kind of weak because customers now can order what they need.